Removing the drive unit. Be sure to remove the power pack before starting work to prevent the accidental activation or short-circuiting of the Bosch e-bike system. These spare parts and special tools will be required. First, remove the crank. To do this, undo the fixing screw for the crank with an 8mm hexagon socket Allen key. You can now remove the crank with the ISIS crank removal implement. Now remove the fixing screw for the crank and the crank itself on the other side. Then remove the chain guard. The chain and chain ring are now exposed. To be able to remove the chain ring, you must first remove the lock ring. To do this, block the rear wheel by securing the brake with a cable tie or similar. Then, remove the lock ring using the Bosch lock ring tool. The lock ring has a left-hand thread, so you should open it by turning it to the right. You can now remove the O-ring. Once you have released the brake again, you can remove the chain. Tip: if the rear wheel or chain is already removed, use a chain whip to hold the chain ring for removal purposes. Now remove the chain ring. To remove the design cover, undo the 3 screws using a Torx T20 wrench and then release the catch on the underside. Now remove the 2 halves of the cover. In the case of Performance Line CX e-bikes, you should remove the cable guard instead of the design cover by undoing the 2 corresponding screws. Next, cut the cable ties on the drive unit. To do this, first disconnect the plug for the power pack. Use a small screwdriver to lift the catch 1 to 2 millimeters and use suitable long-nosed pliers to pull it out. Make sure not to pull on the cables. If the cables have been secured with a cable tie, use a box cutter to cut this. Now disconnect the other plugs, also using suitable long-nosed pliers. Work carefully to avoid damaging the locking tabs on the plugs. You can now start to remove the drive unit. To remove the mounting plate, first undo the 2 lower screws using a Torx T30 wrench. Then remove the 3 nuts, including the corresponding washers using a 13mm socket wrench. Make sure the drive unit is adequately supported so that it does not fall. Now remove the drive unit from the frame along with the 3 hexagonal bolts.